Hello, welcome back to the Gilmore Girls Vlogs, episode 4, The Deer Hunters. A way better episode than the last one.
Told ya.
This was awesome. I'm officially a big fan of the show now. That was
Yeah.
awesome. And it was cool because it totally played me like a fiddle, which TV shows usually don't do.
Oh.
Because, okay, so the episode is about Rory back at Chilton, and the pressure's too much, and she got a D, first D she's ever gotten, and Lorelai is like completely unaware and being a bad mom and lets eat ice cream instead of studying. And the B plot is back at the restaurant with Suki, who got a great review with one word, was the word fine.
It was perfectly fine risotto.
It was a fine risotto. So halfway through I'm like, ugh, I want to like this show because it's still well written, but Lorelai's awful. Rory's working too hard. And the Suki subplot is fine, but like, I care about the Rory subplot, damn it.
Yeah.
Then halfway through, where normally it would have lost me, it got better. So halfway through, at the beginning.
At the conference?
At the conference, yeah. Except, yeah, you'll see. So, in the first Chilton episode, they introduced an English class, and they're talking about Dickens and Tolstoy, and it's this stuffy old, ugly-looking dude talking about how hard school is. This episode starts with Rory and Chilton, and it's a different English professor.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a different guy.
I didn't even notice.
Totally different guy. And then the parent-teacher conference happens, and Lorelai's late, and she's wearing a B-52's tank top. And as soon as
Under a blazer.
Yes, she looks
with
cool.
a pencil skirt.
She looks
and
cool.
Heels.
Yeah. So she walks in late, and the whole room turns to look at her, including the professor who gets a close-up. And I was like, oh, that's why. That's why they changed the actor. He's dreamy.
Oh, he is Max Medina.
Yeah. So they're gonna do that subplot. So at that point, I'm like, fuck, the show is stupid. But
Because
fair enough. He redeemed himself by the end. We'll get there. Before Lorelai got to the meeting, they're talking about the AP tests. And I'll let you take that one away.
I cannot, anytime someone asks me what I do now, I just want to show them that fucking
scene.
clip.
He's
a
going
room
over
full of white people,
Yeah.
not just white people, entitled white adults. Oh God, this is going on the internet. Whatever.
Yeah, well.
No one will find me. And
The internet's not gonna be mad at you for saying that. White people suck.
But
We're the bad ones.
Yeah. Now, my student is going to university, and they need to take this AP test. Is Tolstoy going to be on the AP test? Well, I can't guarantee what's going to be on the AP test, but it will be important for their further studies at university. Well, they need to pass the AP test to get to university, so we need to know every single fucking thing that's going to be on there. And
But there's no way to know. Is there no way we can know? Probably the AP testers. And the parents are like...
I joke. He was kidding. And they're like, oh.
So that was a fun scene.
Oh my God.
But as soon as Lorelai showed up in that skirt, I was like, ugh. She's gonna date the teacher, and it's gonna be all drama because Rory doesn't like that teacher. But then they stay up all night studying because it's finally like Lorelai didn't know she got a D and kept it a secret, and she stops being a shitty mom. I was like, cool.
Yeah, she stayed up all night.
Also, I love in that scene, like they have to stop the meeting because all the parents are picking on Lorelai, who is fighting back in particularly quippy ways that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So the professor's like, "Oh, let's take a break," and they talk, and that's when the teacher tells her, like, "Yeah, she got a D. I mean, she's working hard." And immediately Lorelai's like, "I have to go right now. Like, I need to be with my kid."
She's an awesome mom.
And then they have a montage study sequence about Shakespeare, which I appreciate, and they oversleep. I don't agree with me.
Kitchen table.
I sighed at one point because Lorelai falls asleep on the couch and the TV was like, woo, and I thought we were going to dream sequence land.
Oh.
Because it literally went doodly-doo, and then the music kicked in and all the lyrics were all about let's go to sleep and have a dream, and I was like, we're going to do a dream sequence in episode 4?
No.
But that's not what happens. Instead, Lorelai finds Rory asleep at the kitchen table on her books, and still a shitty mom, but it's endearing. Instead of taking her to bed, she just kind of sits down next to her daughter and they both sleep on the table.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning, Rory's late. Lorelai gives her the keys and the phone and gets it by a deer, which, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Point is she has to be late for the class. And she's like 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late to get in. And because she's 10 minutes late, she can't take the quiz. And then Alexis Bledel finally becomes a great actress and has like a 3-minute monologue where she says everything that's been going on in my head, as well as all the stuff I wanted to say when I was in high school about like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And like, fuck you, bully girl, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, you have everything you need, the status of the grades, what is your problem? What, you have your response right now, Quippy?
Yeah.
It's like, I've been up all week studying and I was hit by a deer. You hit a deer? No, I was hit by a deer.
Yep. I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, it's not fair and it's bullshit and I'm ready for this and fuck you.
Yeah, like just let me take the fucking test.
Right. So she, gets escorted out, cut to Lorelai back at the kitchen.
You forgot to mention, she also stopped by Chad's
Oh, yes.
too and was like, by the name, It's Rory!
Yeah. For the last time,
Yeah.
the name is Rory! Awesome. So that was fucking cool. Then it cuts to Lorelai at the restaurant, or at the inn in the kitchen, and they're still doing the risotto thing. But it was charming, and it made me smile, which, same thing I told you I bitched about in the pilot when they introduced Lane's house. It's like a maze. Mm-hmm. They called that back, and it made me chuckle. I was like, shit, I'm starting to like this show.
Well, they do the whole Marco Polo thing, too, so it's not as, like, it's heartwarming.
Yeah, because now it's a recurring thing. They're friends.
Goofy.
Yeah. And I did appreciate there's a bit where Rory calls on the way to school right before she gets up by the deer. She calls Lane to ask about the notes.
You're learning more about Lane.
And Lane's hanging out in her, well, we don't know it's a closet right away. Lane's hanging out in this room with like a disco ball and everything's pink and I think there's music playing.
And like, what was your reaction right then? What did you think?
I was like, shouldn't you be in school?
Yeah, okay.
So, Rory, and that just facilitated like, it's a dream. Like,
you just know right now that she's got a Korean mom and that she's really strict. Yeah.
So, so I thought maybe it was still a dream. So that whole setting seemed weird for that character and at that time of the morning. So, do you have my notes? Hang on. And then she opens a door in her purple thing and steps out in like the most immaculate, perfect, boring bedroom with like bland white walls, bland bed
perfectly like made bed and perfectly tucked in.
So she's got like her little neon. It's like she has a Tumblr.
That's her Tumblr.
Yeah, her closet, physical Tumblr space to hang out. So I like that. Anyway, so we cut to Lorelai after Rory freaks out in the most spectacular fashion, and I'm all on her side. Like that's the kind of thing where I wanted somebody to stand up and start a slow clap. Like,
right?
Anyway, cut to Lorelai who's in the kitchen dealing with the whole Suki thing, which at this point I'm getting annoyed by it, but it's actually endearing.
Good.
Instead of annoying. I'm starting to really like Suki and her thing. Because the story with the risotto is, it's not like she's just a perfectionist chef. That risotto saved her mother's life by longing it for 3 years. It's the magic risotto. And like he's a grocer because they mentioned a tomato grower.
I don't think so. I think it's a bunch of farmers who work together and maybe they swap.
Whatever. The guy with the fruit who's
Look at him. He's wearing a beanie. He's always wearing tie-dye shirts and overalls.
Total hipster.
Not hipster, a hippie. This is pre-hipster.
Yes. Anyway, that dude shows up and
not artisanal.
He's all ready to get into the fight with Suki about like I have the wrong thing and I know I'm late and I just forgot the stuff and anyway, let's go. And she's like whatever. And he is like, what's wrong with Suki?
Yeah.
It's like so it's all these little things that I didn't like so much in the pilot are becoming endearing.
Yeah.
So then Michelle, who still kind of bothers me, mostly because I can't understand all his words. The accent's still too cartoony and thick.
Okay.
But he's like, there is someone on the phone for you, Lorelai, with a funny accent. And she's like. What did she say? Something about like, do you guys join a club? Did you guys do the secret handshake? That's the line. And then we know what it's about, so then it cuts to her hauling ass down the hallway to go speak to the headmaster. And the headmaster and the teacher are there, and the teacher just looks sheepish the whole time, like he doesn't say anything, while the headmaster's like, your daughter may not be good enough, and I already told her that she's terrible, so now I'm going to tell you the same thing, and blah, blah, blah. And then he starts to walk around his desk to the door, and Lorelai's like, where's he going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
And the guy finally says, look, if I could change this, I would, but I can't. She's like, you can. You're the teacher. I want to take the test. I can't. I'm sorry. And then he holds the door up before her, and she's like, are you holding that door open for a reason? And the headmaster says something about the lines of, yeah, we're done. The meeting is over. She's like, oh, the hell it is. And then Lorelai has her own awesome monologue where I'm like, not sure in the history of parents in America that's ever happened.
Oh, bullshit.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Are you kidding me?
If someone
a parent ranting about their child?
Ranting about their child for the right reasons?
Like that?
In my experience, being a talented, smart kid and having other smart kid friends, if a smart kid has a legitimate problem where like they haven't slept in a week and they're stressed and they have a freak out and somebody's mad at them, the parents, in my case anyway, and most of my friends' case, wouldn't take the girl's side. They'd say, there's no excuse to ever throw a fit like that. I don't care how stressed out you are.
Yeah.
You swallow your problems. But instead, Lorelai's like, yeah, she didn't even know about the freak out yet, but just like, she was late and your school sucks and like, you told her she was a good student, now you're keeping her from taking this test, which she's prepared for. Like, the notion of, no, I just don't believe that happens.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking back to all the times parents have ranted to me.
Well, that's because those kids were terrible.
Right. They're trying to sway my decision because I know that they're terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't an understanding situation.
I know that girl cheated on her test, and yet her parents still wanted me to let her take it again.
And that's not the same thing as being 10 minutes late for class.
I absolutely agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Lorelai has another freak out, and that's when she finds out the professor is like, man, you were very much like your daughter. What do you mean? Your daughter had a similar rant.
Yeah.
And then immediately, even though she's wrong, right to her daughter's defense. Like, that's not what Rory does. Well, maybe she's a lot like you, or maybe she took classes in being you. So
she did a great impression of you.
Yeah, there it is. So anyway, they go sit in the hallway, and I like that image of the two of them sitting in the hallway like they both got in trouble.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, this is a great fantasy. It's never gonna happen. She's expelled, and the other one's going to prison. Like, how dare you swear to headmaster? So then they're driving home, and, they're going to go look for the deer, and it ends with a nice walk and talk through the woods. Because Rory is worried about the deer that ran into her car, because she's a good person.
Of course.
And they go for a walk, and they have a really, good heart-to-heart conversation about, what is it, did I push this on you? Are you sure you want it? Which they laid in earlier when Lorelai was talking to the teacher in the teacher conference about, I bought her this sweater when she was 4, and I'm like, that means it's your fault. Mm-hmm. You're a shitty mom. But then Rory says, no, this is my thing. I really want it. And I love the idea, too, where it's I'm not going to quit, but I reserve the right to change my mind later.
Absolutely.
And again, parents don't have that either. It's no, it's all about crossroad moments with parents. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you want to do this? Because later on, you can't go back. Mm-hmm. And then there's a cheesy line, which I guess you thought was amusing, where she's like, I reserve the right to change my mind later. And Lorelai goes, that's your prerogative, as long as you're a woman. And I'm like, a guy can't write that joke without getting boo, woman haters. Suki, they wrap that story up. Suki goes to visit the food critic at his house. Because it turns out, Suki tracks down what happened. It was the wrong wine that made the risotto, the magic risotto, taste bad. So she tracks the food critic down. In the midst of all this drama and really long monologues and people being there for each other, it cuts to Suki knocking on a dude's door holding a wine and a glass of wine and a plate of food. And again, I giggled the moment I saw her. That's comic relief used the exact right way. Oh, right on. Something silly and sweet. And did they pay it off?
No.
Nope, we never see it. He goes inside to eat it.
And she says, I'll wait, and the door closes. And
right. So they don't really finish that story up, but still, it was I like the fact they used Suki and Lane just the right way. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound really fucked up, but I'm really hoping that at some point Lane has some massive trauma. Because I want to see Lane be more emotionally involved in the storyline, and also her mother's terrible. Did she even have a dad?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Right on.
And I've seen all of these episodes about 3 times.
Clearly not the focus of the show, but I like
she
Lane.
has a biological father.
She's not
I
a
don't
test tube
think
baby.
she was born in a test tube, although knowing her mom, who knows?
Genetically engineered perfect baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was a great bit too where after the whole, where are you? I'm on the left, on the right. They finally find each other, and Lane's eating a rice cake, and Rory's like, what is that? And Lane's just 12 calories. Yeah. That part felt fairly realistic too. So anyway, I really like this episode. Are we forgetting anything? Alex Bordenstein's still there with her fucking harp. She played Iron Man on the harp. That made me laugh. Sabbath.
Oh yeah, Black Sabbath. Yeah. I don't really like her still.
Okay, we did forget one thing. The whole teacher being... So at the end of the episode, they go home.
Oh yeah.
And there was one line that bothered me where they're like, take off that stupid skirt, we're gonna go to Luke's. And I'm like, go to sleep. Both of you, take a nap. That's what Rory needs. She doesn't need to go study at Luke's. She needs a nap. But whatever, they're gonna go to Luke's.
That's their thing.
And,
they live on insane amounts of caffeine.
And it really went well for him this episode. Anyway, so there's a phone call, and it's the teacher calling. Hey, and he's calling for Rory. I talked to the headmaster, and he's agreed to let you do some extra credit work in lieu of the test you missed. It's probably going to be really hard and time-consuming, but it should get you back up to date. Mm-hmm. And Lorelai is listening, because Rory's off camera changing clothes, and she does that fucking TV woman thing where I'm going to sit down ever so delicately on the side of the sofa and listen really intently with a cute smile on my face.
That's what we do in real life too, George.
Well, I don't get to see you guys when you're by yourselves.
We're just as cute as what it portrays on television.
Then just to confirm that they recast that teacher and have those close-up moments where the teacher's smiling, blah, 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 it ends with and by the way, if your mother's listening, it was a pleasure encountering you. I'm like, all right, well done, dude. That's a nice line. Pleasure encountering you.
English teacher.
That's a nice line. It was a pleasure encountering you and something else. And she smiles he's so dreamy.
He said he hopes it happens again.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, as far as the first...
Are you shipping them already?
No, I was going to say, as far as the first obvious romantic subplot, besides cute boy from the pilot, who was going to be in the next episode, I saw him in the preview.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Aside from that, I guess, I like Luke better.
Ah, so you're already...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I like Luke a lot better.
Interesting.
Because Luke, okay, same thing. They see Rory, before Lorelai knows that Rory has got a D, Rory's in the fucking coffee shop, stressed out and studying, and Luke comes over with a piece of pie and just puts it down. She's like, I didn't order this. And he's like, you look like you need pie. And she's like, what do you mean? You throw a pencil, I think you need pie. And then she's all Rory about it. She's like, what if I thrown a pencil, whatever it is? What if I done another thing? He's like, I would even get trout. I don't make the rules, I just serve the food. Like, he cares about those two women. I like that. The other dude just wants to bang hot Lauren Graham. Which, I mean, right on. Pretty sexy.
She is.
Mm-hmm. It is a little weird because in my head, Alexis Bledel is like the sexy hooker from Sin City, and she's so 16.
Oh, yeah.
So,
this is way before Sin
absolutely.
City.
I know, I understand. But, like, what we talked like with Buffy, excuse me for being skeevy, those girls don't look 16. Alice Hannigan.
Oh, yeah.
Alice Hannigan a little bit.
I bet Alexis Bledel was like, what, 18 in this?
I mean, I could buy 16.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's always tough with TV. It's like in that 70s show when Mila Kunis like 14
Oh,
in the first season of that.
Oh my gosh.
You know? So
Yeah,
anyway,
I forgot about that.
Lauren Graham's really hot, and I know Alexis Bledel will get there. That's not why I'm watching the show, but can't hurt.
It's not for the looks. I told you that coming into this.
Yeah, you did say that. And it's not about how they look, George. They're smart. And the very first scene of the fucking first episode, dude hits on mom. And she's like, no thank you. And then she gets up and goes to flirt with Luke, and Rory comes in. The same dude hits on the girl.
Okay, but when did
And then they sit down, and he's like, oh my god, you guys have sibling...
That's not what the show is about, though.
I know it's not, but it is the very first thing that happens in the show.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, I know, but they're hot.
Well, I don't see that.
I
I
understand.
am a woman.
I'm
They are
just-
equals to me.
You don't... I'm sure no pleasure from you watching the show comes to the fact that you're just judging the shit out of Lorelai every time she makes a mistake.
Judging her for mistakes.
Either relating to or judging her for it.
Relating to.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What?
I don't remember what... We're equals. I was like, you're not equals. Women like to watch women fail. I'm going to rephrase that because I sound sexist. Humans like to watch humans fail.
No, I like it because I do relate to her.
Right.
And to Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
I remember that time.
You combine both of them together, you get me.
If you say so. I don't know enough about them yet to call that one.
Alright.
Mm-mm. At this point, I'm like, if you take Suki and Michelle and the Harp Lady and mush them together.
Fuck no.
That's Rachel. Like.
No. Oh my gosh.
Above it all, too smart and too talented to be doing what she's doing, and just a ray of fucking sunshine. Those are the three things.
Okay, well, you turned that around really nicely.
That's what I meant the first time. That's what those three characters are.
I guess I think differently of those three characters.
Like, I hate the Harp bitch.
I do. I hate her. Suki is very endearing, but
I like
she's kind
her.
of a mess.
Yeah. No comment on that one. Anyway, I like this episode a lot, so I'm in. What were we talking about? Making messes and relating to the women. They're really attractive.
Okay.
I don't know why you always want to call bullshit on. They are.
No, they are.
Yeah, so. And I mean, come
But
on.
that's not why people watch the show.
No.
Okay.
That's part of
That
why
was my
I'm.
point.
That's part of why I'm willing to watch the show. Is like, well, at least there's something to look at. It's true. Why did we start watching Wild America? It wasn't for the fucking animals.
Oh, yeah.
Because Devin Sawa and John Otanis are in it.
Devin Sawa it's all about JTT.
JTT.
Which makes me feel like a pedophile watching that.
Well, she was like 6 when that movie came
Right.
out, so it's all.
A 6-year-old brain is
It's
always like,
time travel.
JTT.
Anyway, we're way off topic as per usual. Good fucking episode. The next one, I can't remember what it's called, but I know that pretty fucking 90s hair guy with a leather jacket.
That's Dean.
Dean. Oh, right, Dean, that's his name. And they laid it in on this one. There's continuing storylines now. Because Lane was like, guy asked about you at school.
Yeah.
Tall guy, gorgeous. No, tall guy, perfect is what
Here
she
we
said.
go. Finally out of pilot land.
Right. It occurred to me too, either this episode or the last one, I was like, we were talking about this show out in our real world. And I was like, holy shit, like, eventually Rory's gonna have sex. That's gonna be amazing. Like, what is that gonna have? What's that gonna be like? And then I realized watching the wedding episode, the last one that was really boring, I was like, man, I'm only 3-4 episodes in, but I like these characters. If they do a wedding episode, I might fucking cry for either one of them. Because I like those characters enough that I want them to be happy, even though I don't really know them. That's how good the writing is.
George, you will probably cry at least 3 times I can think of.
I do that. I cry at shows.
Yeah.
I cried in Zootopia. You didn't.
No.
Heartless thing, you.
I know.
Because the bunny cried. And she was all, I'm sorry, and you can hate me.
I related to the head thing because I told you that I hug people. I'm like, just hold me.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm all in on Gilmore Girls until they fuck it up and have something to bitch about in the next couple episodes. I hope they start giving us male characters who are more than dreamy and nice. That's my biggest pet peeve with TV shows and women in general. Why do you like him? I don't know. He doesn't stink and he's not terrible to me.
I got a perfect guy I could think of.
Right on. Well, again, fucking Luke, he cares about them.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the thing. And he's actually in the opening title, so I'm shipping Luke and what's her name? Lorelai. Laura Luke. Hashtag Laura Luke. Team Laura Luke all day.
Like 15 years later.
Totally. But anyway, that's all for this time. We'll be back with episode 5 called Something or Something with Dean, the return of Pretty Boy Dean. Bye.
Bye. Hello. George Efta here. Hit that red button 1,000 times.
Not that I'm all that angry ever on the phone anymore.
Oh, it's my usual. I don't want to talk to that person.
I only do that when I'm like mad at the phone, not at the people.
Oh.
Fucking phone, you know.
Phones suck.
Yeah. What was it called? The Deer Hunters.
Something like that.
For some reason.